deep in my soul.
Founder and creator of Wavy, a fashion-forward, functional fitness apparel brand that's made to inspire movement and confidence and celebrate your unique curves. No matter if you're cruising on the beach, stepping onto your yoga mat, or lacing up your sneakers for a run, Wavy was made for you.
Happy Sunday, everybody. Welcome into HSN. Hi, Andrew. How are you, friend?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic, and I'm really excited for everyone. This is your once a year Today special to help us get our health and our nutrition in check with Secure, complete meal replacement here. Andrew, I'm really excited. I'm going to be honest here. This will be my first time getting to try this, and according to the thousands of reviews, absolutely delicious. So let's jump right in.
Well, Secure, we should go through, I guess, the offer, the configuration. You have a try me size of 20, and it goes all the way up to 400 meal. The 400 meal is one each of all 4 flavors. And the 300, you could sort of mix and match. You could have all one flavor. You could have a mix of multiple flavors, chocolate, vanilla, coffee. So you have a choice of chocolate, vanilla, coffee, and our new Pina Colada. So all of them, I'll let you, Michelle, go through all the configuration.
Yes, absolutely. So as Andrew mentioned, this one time a year is the time we get to offer these bigger configurations with the bigger savings. So you can see on your screen here, you get to choose if you want 20 meals, 60, and then upward of 100, 200, 300, or 400 meals. And to Andrew's point, I'm pretty excited about the 400, not only because the savings is absolutely tremendous, but this is also the option that gives you one of each of the flavors. So you'll get 100 meals each of the Pina Colada, vanilla, coffee, and chocolate. If you choose the 200 or 300 meal, you can mix and match. You can do all of one flavor if you prefer. And then the 20, 60, and 100, you choose which flavor you'd like to receive. Andrew, you're also including some bonuses as well. When we get into the 60 meal and up, we will get to try a sampling of your sucrase and also the Choco Nuvo. So a great way to kick off the new year. I know a lot of us looking to get our nutrition in check, maybe, lose a little bit of weight, but unfortunately, a lot of the meal replacements out there, they are loaded with the sugars and the additives, and they don't really give us the nutrition we need. So I think this is a great way for us to get started.
Hi, we're just arranging things here. This is the time of year, so many of us have had so many challenges throughout the year. In California here, we're still sort of locked down, so it's very difficult to go to the grocery store to get the food we want, to basically get wholesome food. A lot of us are surviving on packaged food and things like that, so we're not necessarily getting the vitamins, the minerals we want, the nutrition we need. And a lot of us have gained weight. We're not exercising outside. We can't go to our gyms. It's been a huge disruption to our life. Many of us have put on weight in the last 12 months. So this is an opportunity to get the most proven science in weight loss, which is meal replacement science. And there's no question about that. I'll read the scientific charts that give you quotes on that. So meal replacement science is the most proven science in weight loss. And I'll go through why my Secure meal replacement, after making this product for over 30 years, the latest evolution of this product is the finest. Objectively speaking, just looking at things in an unbiased way, why it is the finest meal replacement you can find anywhere in terms of flavor, in terms of ease of mixing, in terms of caloric content, in terms of vitamin, mineral, protein, nutrient content, and then most importantly, in terms of price. I mean, I was looking this morning online that even if you wanted to get one of those shakes at a fast food restaurant, you're spending at least $2, $3, $4, $5 for that shake that is just basically delicious, but basically completely unhealthy, probably 500 calories. This product is barely 60 calories, and it's giving you the vitamins, the minerals, the nutrients you want, the protein content you want. It is specifically designed to help you lose weight, to support your weight loss goals.
Sure. And
what I also did, because I learned early on making a meal replacement, that technically the best meal replacement is just a good start, because if it doesn't taste great, it will be a complete failure. Mine didn't taste great. So I learned that I had to make as much or an even greater investment in flavor than I did in the science of supporting your weight loss goals. And that's what we did. So whether it's vanilla, chocolate, coffee, pina colada, we don't have a dozen or 2 dozen flavors because I'd rather make 4 amazing flavors, fantastic flavors, than a dozen good flavors. So the investment is in flavor because no matter how technically advanced a meal replacement is, if you don't make the investment in flavor, people will not enjoy using it. They will not use it successfully and frequently. And unless you use it consistently and frequently, it won't work. And that's why this works.
Well, I just opened the chocolate. It already smells amazing. I'm a firm believer chocolate makes everything better in life. The thousands of reviews, you're so right. Almost every single one will absolutely address the taste and the consistency. So this will be my first time trying it. I'm just gonna do some water. Do you have any ways you like to enjoy this, Andrew? Do you put it in smoothies as well? Do you just do it with water? What do you prefer?
You can mix it with, I mix it with water. I use the vanilla. I'll mix it with, in the morning, the vanilla with any kind of frozen berries is amazing. You could put almond butter. So you could use soy milk. You can use any of the different milk that are out there. Okay. What is also unique about our product is how soluble it is. And that's not an accident. That's very careful design, making sure that each and every one of the ingredients is literally super soluble. You do not need a blender. Despite the protein content, you do not need a blender to make this product work perfectly. Whether you're mixing it with soy milk, whether you're mixing it with water, whether you're mixing it with regular non-fat milk, whether you're putting it in a blender or a smoothie, it's something that is so uniquely soluble. And that's part of the reason why it tastes so great, because if something isn't fully soluble, then it's going to be lumpy and chunky and gritty, and it's not going to taste great. So each one of those attributes is an important consideration in making a product that's going to be delicious. And if it's not delicious, you're not going to use it consistently. And the only way a product can help you in your weight management, weight loss goals, is if you want to use it consistently. It sounds like a basic fact. It was something that was so basic, I had to learn it 30 years ago, that I made a technically sound meal replacement. But because I didn't spend years focused on flavor, it wasn't successful. And if you look at the typical meal replacements out there, they do not focus on flavor. They don't invest in flavor. It's really expensive. So their products taste like cardboard. And our product, the blueprint I went to make these taste delicious. And there are experts that focus on flavor. The only thing that was going to keep me happy was when we were done, if my vanilla shake, my chocolate shake, my coffee shake, or my pina colada tasted like you were getting it from a fast food restaurant, where they throw caution to the wind. It's 500, 600, 700 calories. Oof. And I mean, it's high in sugar, it's high in fat, and these products, all they care about, obviously, is flavor. Because all you're doing, it's God knows all the different ingredients that are in there. It's just all about flavor. It's just a whole ton of calories, and they taste amazing. They taste great. So my goal was to keep my product just as healthy, just as low in calories, delivering just as much nutrition, multiple times the B12 and biotin, even of a leading multivitamin. So it's more potent in key nutrients than a leading multivitamin, because those are important to our feeling best about ourselves, important to our being able to burn fat optimally. So we make sure you get all that nutrition, but it doesn't compromise the flavor. You'll get these home, you'll be astounded by the flavor.
This chocolate is so good. I almost finished it, Andrew. It's very creamy. I am very impressed by that. We just added water. I did 1 scoop. You could do more if you want to have more flavor, but very creamy, very chocolatey, and that's just one of the 4 flavors here. We also have the coffee, there's vanilla, and pina colada. Talk about feeling like you've been whisked away on a vacation somewhere with that creamy pineapple flavor. The beauty of this Today Special also is one time a year is when we have these larger configurations, much bigger savings in terms of the 400 meal, for instance, that breaks down to 57 cents per meal. Great cost on that. And with the 400, you get one of each of these 100 meal options of each of the flavors. Now, from the 300 on down, you get to choose your configuration. Do you want maybe with the 300 meal, one of each flavor? Do you want to do all the same? Complete customization. But when you get this home, I think true to Andrew's point, you're gonna see it dissolves very easily. It tastes amazing. And Andrew, I do like the fact that on top of, low calorie, low carb, low sugar, all of the vitamins and the nutrients, because unfortunately, I think when we're trying to lose weight and people start depriving themselves, first of all, they lose out on the nutrients that our bodies need to be healthy. It's kind of counterintuitive in the first place.
Well, it's one of the first things that happens. The minute we start eating less, we start getting fewer calories, but we also get fewer of the vitamins and minerals that accompany those calories. And oftentimes, as we're eating less, we're not eating the rich foods that are rich in vitamins and minerals. Certainly over the course of this year, that really is a problem because there's just less of an availability, less access. It's just been difficult. And a lot of us have put on weight, that there's no question. And unfortunately, I'm someone, at least in terms of how I look at weight gain or overweight or obesity, I really don't look at it as an issue of vanity or how we appear or how we look at all. The only thing that I look at it as, and it's unfortunately it's supported by the science, it poses an enormous risk to our health. In fact, if we look at America and we look at our causes of illness and our causes of death, at the top of the list of what's driving all of those issues and problems, unfortunately, is our body composition. That if you look at when I was a little kid, overweight and obesity was a relatively nominal problem. And I could find headlines from just, say, 20 or 30 years ago where America had hit levels of 20% obesity, where 20% of us were obese. And the headlines talk about, well, the good thing about that is that it can't get any worse. Oh. Well, we're now at 40% obesity, meaning that 40% of Americans are obese, which is a challenge and a huge challenge to our health as a country. And then, of course, another 35% or so are overweight. So we're pushing 75, 80% of Americans are overweight or obese. And to me, again, not a vanity issue, but a health issue. Because whether it's diabetes, whether it's hypertension, high blood pressure, whether it's going to be heart disease risk, whether it's going to be the health of our brains, all of these things are directly impacted, whether it's going to be our cancer risk. All of these things are directly affected and impacted by our body composition. So when I'm talking about a product that supports weight loss and supports weight management and supports our improving those numbers and getting our health numbers in the normal range and the healthy range, it's all about health. It's not about vanity, it's all about health. Yeah. And the only way to accomplish this is by making a change in what we put in our body. Yes, exercise and activity is important, but as I always say, 80, 90% of it is what we put in our mouth. Unfortunately, our body was designed to encourage us to eat as much as we can whenever we could and to hold on to as much as we could. We were designed to survive well in a world of scarcity. We now live in a world of abundance. So a body that was designed to eat as much as we could, whenever we could, and hold on to as much as we could, that's not a good design for the world we live in today. So again, as I often say, it is not our fault that we are overweight or obese. It is not a question of willpower. It's a question of our design. Those of us who are at our ideal weight or optimum body weight, that's almost a mistake given the world we live in. So what my meal replacement does is simply focuses on the science that is most well established, that is most well proven in terms of helping you lose weight. And that's meal replacement science. And ours is the most affordable and delicious way to do it. I could hear you in the background mixing up. So what do you think, having never tried these before, what do you think about their flavors?
I've tried a lot of different protein powders, meal replacement shakes and things, and a lot of them are gritty, or in terms of flavor, I end up having to use nut milks and add peanut butter, and you start adding all these extras, again, so that it tastes good. I am blown away by the Pina Colada, and I'm sure people at home, you can see how creamy, I mean, there is a literal foam on the top. That is how creamy this is. I poured a little bit of bottled water, that was it. And Andrew, it dissolved almost immediately. Everyone got to see, stirring it with the spoon. It is so delicious.
You could even mix it with the straw. I mean, when I travel, I'll mix it with my finger in a hotel glass. I'll mix it with the back of my toothbrush.
And you know, no aftertaste either. I've definitely tried powders that have, because if you read the back of the labels of whatever you have at home, you might be shocked to see the additives and the sweeteners and the extra things, Andrew, and it leaves a literal bad taste in your mouth, and you're not doing yourself any favors in terms of nutrition and vitamins and minerals. So I am very, very impressed with this. I think it tastes amazing. This is by far the best time to pick it up. Andrew, I know once a year you bring us your secure complete meal replacements as a Today Special, and the beauty of that is we're able to take advantage of the bigger savings as you get into the larger portions. I mean, here we've got from 20 meals on up to 400 meals plus. So you can see the savings in the last column there. The thing that I also enjoy, and I think a lot of people at home will too, is once you get into the 200, 300, and 400, you start to get variety as well. So the 200 and 300 meals, you can decide if you want all the same or if you want to try different flavors. 400, probably my favorite. If you order the 400 meal, you are going to get one of each flavor, the Pina Colada, vanilla, coffee, and chocolate. And the savings is unbelievable. Also, that breaks down to, we did the math, it was 57 cents per meal. I mean, in terms of cost and the nutritional value that you're getting out of this and the deliciousness, I mean, you really would look forward to having this as a treat, even as a dessert. It's so low calorie, they're all under 70 calories. I think it's a really smart choice, not only for weight loss, Andrew, but I'm thinking for those of us who are so busy that sometimes, I mean, there have been times I forget to eat. You realize, I'm starving, what happened? Oh, I didn't eat lunch. If I could have just taken 30 seconds to make a meal replacement that's going to give me the vitamins and nutrients I need, I think that's a really nice way to keep our nutritional levels up too.
And even for me this morning, I was racing out the door because I quickly called in for a show with Callie. And the meal replacement, it's just a way to be satisfied, it's filling, and it's designed to be satisfying. It's designed to be filling. And again, the investment we make in flavor, it's a product, when you read the reviews, you will see hundreds and hundreds of reviews that talk about the fact that they're absolutely just blown away by the flavor. Actually, I have a list. I have to go grab a paper in a few moments here that has a list of the words that are used, that if you look at the reviews on this product, you'll see hundreds and hundreds of reviews that talk about it being the best. Hundreds of reviews that use the word love, love the flavor for a meal replacement. That is not what you expect to hear about a 63, 65, 67, and 69 calorie meal replacement. The reason why the calories vary, not because I was being imprecise designing this, but because flavor makes up such a significant component of each version, each flavor, that they're different. So we invest so much in flavor that it transforms the caloric content of each one. No other meal replacement has the investment in flavor that we have here. No other meal replacement is as soluble, meaning it mixes as easily. No other meal replacement is as rich in key vitamins and minerals. No other meal replacement also combines in the best protein for weight loss and weight management. And then, best of all, despite all of those unique characteristics, no other meal replacement is as affordable. I mean, it's downright, I hate to say it, it's downright cheap. Even the smallest size, the Try Me size, the 20 meal size, less than $1 a meal. Those fast food shakes that have no redeeming value other than their 500-600 calories of delicious. They're delicious and horribly unhealthy. Bottom line, delicious and horribly unhealthy. They cost multiple times more than my meal replacement. I think the cheapest ones you'll find will still be more than $2. And the typical shakes are going to be $3, $4, $5. And that's for horribly unhealthy but delicious shakes. So I copied their delicious. I'm not proud. I know what they were doing, and I copied their delicious. So I copied their delicious, but I made sure that you get the vitamins and minerals and protein you want to make it a complete meal replacement so that it's healthy, it's nutritious, you can count on it to give you what you need to support your weight loss goals or your weight management goals, or just to give you great nutrition when it's too expensive to eat a full meal. I mean, to think that you could replace a meal for 50, 60, 70 cents. You can't eat a meal. When I was a little kid, they talked about you could go to your fast food restaurant and get change back from your dollar. The only place that's happening now is with my meal replacement.
It all comes full circle, Andrew. Yeah. You know, when you say shake, You hit the nail on the head. The consistency of this, it really is like a shake. And again, you saw I just poured water and we gave it a little stir, and you can really see how creamy that is. For those of you watching, if you're all about texture and consistency, I'm one of those people. I can tell you, it is so smooth and creamy. And the Pina Colada, Andrew, it's delicious. Pina Colada is newer to your lineup in terms of flavor, right? But it's that perfect balance of the coconut and the pineapple. I feel like I'm on an island somewhere.
And we have certainly countless requests to add new flavors. But for us, because I don't want to make a flavor that isn't a perfect flavor, that isn't an exceptional flavor, we just don't add them. And certainly I hope to add more flavors in the future. Pina Colada was the first one that we had added. But if I can't make a flavor that's truly fantastic, I can't expect you to enjoy the benefits of using this product. So please forgive me that we only have chocolate, vanilla, coffee, and Pina Colada. But what you can count on about those 4 flavors is that they are incredible. They are remarkable. What I wanted to do was just read some charts initially that just go through the basics of the product and then goes through the basics of meal replacement science, because again, it's not me that says to you that a meal replacement is how you can lose weight. It is the absolute science that the medical journals, the nutrition journals, the clinical scientists have said, wow, meal replacements are the most effective way to lose weight. So you could go spend money on supervised training and supervised meals and all sorts of things like that and spend a heck of a lot more money, 10, 20 times more. But meal replacements, according to the science, not my science, according to the science, not only do they work well, but they work better. So more affordable and better. So let's first of all look at what basically defines the secure meal replacement. It's low in calories, and by being low in calories, 63 to 69 calories, that's your weight loss. The difference in calories between this and your meal or snack, that's the weight you get to lose. Also, because it's so low in calories, you could do what I do at home. I add fruit and berries to my vanilla. I could add almond butter, pecan butter, whatever the butter of your nut butter of your choosing might be. You could add soy milk. You could add non-fat milk. You can add yogurt, and it's still going to be barely 100 calories. So it's flexible because it's low in calories. It's designed to mix quick and easily, as I've said. You can mix it with your finger. You can mix it just by pouring water in. It's rich, delicious, filling. The texture is designed to enhance the flavors, not be gritty and sandy and chunky. So it contains 7 grams of non-GMO soy protein, which is without question the most effective and supportive protein for weight loss. Not whey protein. I have a whey protein version of Secure, but if you're targeting weight loss and weight management, then soy protein is the only way to go. Low in sodium if you're watching your blood pressure, low in fat, only 1.5 grams, no trans fat, no saturated fat, and no cholesterol. It is dairy-free. It is non-GMO. It is also gluten-free. So it is designed to be as flexible and as healthy as possible. Less than 8 grams of carbs, less than 30 carbohydrate calories. So if you're really watching your sugar and carb intake, if you're someone who might be watching your A1C levels, your blood sugar levels, this is designed to work perfectly. 21 essential vitamins and minerals. And then when you look at the levels, almost 100% of the RDA of vitamin C. It's like a multivitamin. 500% of the RDA of B12 because it's so important for our energy and weight loss, higher than all the leading multivitamins. 500% of the RDA of biotin, again, higher than all the leading multivitamins. 40% to 100% of the RDA of all B vitamins. 70% RDA of vitamin E. 25 and natural vitamin E, of course, and then levels of magnesium, calcium that are going to be higher than the leading multivitamins as well. So it is unlike any other meal replacement you're going to find. And then, these are some reviews. I intended to grab the science, but we'll do some reviews first. But meal in a glass, so easy. Love this product. No stressing over fixing a balanced, good-for-you meal. It's all in one scoop. I like vanilla because you can add so many different flavors to it, such as fruit or even chocolate. One of my favorite things to do is add it to my blender with my Healthy Blast for even more nutrition. 2 great products in one. Lots of fruit and veggies topped with the Secure Meal Replacement. How perfect is that? Thanks, Andrew. I take many of your vitamins, and my body is thanking you every day. We appreciate your dedication and hard work. From Becky in Virginia. We'll do one more, and then I'll find the science. I think here's the science charts. Why don't we grab them here?
Okay. Well,
just great tasting, filling, easy to prepare. The reviews, there are thousands of reviews. And again, you're talking about reviews that are over 80% positive, But here from Biomedical Research International, previous studies with caloric restriction have shown that by using a meal replacement, a larger weight reduction and a better compliance with diet plan could be achieved. Caloric restriction is just a fancy way of saying diet. So using a meal replacement enhanced the weight reduction, produced a better rate reduction, and better compliance, maybe meaning that folks stuck to it more easily. Inclusion of meal replacements may therefore represent one of the solutions for improving the long-term success of weight-reducing diets in free living subjects, meaning that folks are not in an institution. Nutrition Journal. Given the prevalence of obesity, its harmful consequences on human health, and we certainly see that now in our society, and the lack of effective treatment options, meal replacement diet plans represent a viable strategy for controlling weight and positively impacting health outcomes. Better adherence to the diet using meal replacements has been shown over both the short-term and long-term, as well as among subgroups, such as those who are often challenging in terms of compliance and achievement of weight loss. Again, meaning meal replacements work better. Meal replacement shakes have been studied extensively for both medical and public health efforts to combat obesity, again, in America. Over 40% of us are obese, that's almost half of us are obese, and another over a third of us are overweight. So that means 3/4 of us are overweight or obese, and that has severe health consequences. Meal replacement shakes represent an important strategy in combating the worldwide epidemic of obesity due to their simplicity and convenience. Ours is more affordable, ours is more delicious. Meal replacement simplifies the weight loss regimens by replacing one or two meals a day with a product of defined nutrient and caloric content. Ours is lowest in calories, richest in nutrition, richest in flavor. Annals of Nutrition and Metabolism. Recent studies have shown that meal replacement regimens are safe and are associated with greater weight loss than individualized diet plans, which cost more. It has been suggested that diets containing soy protein may further accelerate weight loss. That's why for our most important meal replacement, Secure, we use soy protein. We also have a version with whey protein, but soy protein in terms of weight loss, the science is behind that. Results of our previous research, as well as that of others, demonstrate the safety and efficacy of meal replacements for weight loss and weight maintenance among overweight and obese individuals. Again, not my opinion. It is the opinion of the science. Evidence has shown that dietary interventions utilizing meal replacements result in greater weight loss and better compliance, are more likely to ensure adequate intake of essential nutrients, and demonstrate higher satisfaction and lower dropout rates compared to other diets. And because mine is the best tasting, the easiest to mix, the richest in nutrition, and by far the least expensive. It's downright cheap at 50 to 60 cents a meal in the larger sizes and still under $1 in the smallest size. If meal replacements already have better compliance, mean they're easier to stick to, they ensure greater weight loss. If that is the fact of life with meal replacements, then a meal replacement that tastes better, that's more affordable, that mixes more easily, is going to be the best in the world. And that's why I've said it over and over and over again. My only goal was to ensure that as long as the science on meal replacement says it's the best way to go, that if I made the best meal replacement in the world for objective, unbiased reasons, tastes better, less expensive, mixes more easily, then it's going to be the best tool for weight loss in the world. And that's what I've said over and over and over about our Secure. That's what the reviews say. When I introduced it 30 years ago, and I didn't invest in flavor, I'm not proud to say, I'm a little embarrassed to say. It was a 2-star product. Yeah. It was 2-star, 2.1, 2.2 stars, and math and arithmetic being what it is, you need to have an awful lot of 5-star reviews to transform that into a 4.2 or 4.3 star product, which we have done. Yeah. So we have, and it took a huge investment in flavor. And that's why, I mean, it truly is a remarkable product. The fact, I think one of the biggest obstacles to folks trying this product is you look at it and you go, gosh, a fast food shake cost me $3. Yes. How can this 50 or 60 cent meal replacement with all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the protein, all the nutrition, how could that be any good? How could it taste good? But it does. I encourage you to read the reviews. We don't remove the bad reviews. Right. And certainly there are bad reviews, but when 80+% of the reviews are incredible reviews, that's a testament to the product.
Well, I just put in the coffee flavor and about half the amount of water, because that's what I have left. I've been trying all the different flavors, but honestly, this is how I would make a coffee. I would like it strong. Look how well it dissolved, how creamy that is. I'm just using the straw. I didn't even grab the spoon. This is one of the 4 flavors, speaking to flavor, as Andrew mentioned. So right here, the first choice, we have Pina Colada. It is creamy. I tried it. It is that perfect balance of the pineapple and the coconut. It really does taste like you're on an island on vacation somewhere. Next to the Pina Colada is the vanilla. From a lot of the reviews that I read, this was a popular choice because it gives you versatility too. Like you were saying, Andrew, if you want to add berries or different fruits or nuts into your smoothies, vanilla is a nice base flavor for that. We also have the coffee, the one that I just mixed up here to give you that little coffee boost. A lot of us love that taste in the morning. Sometimes it's just a ritual. So what a really nice way in the morning if you wanted to have this as your breakfast to still get that coffee flavor. And then the chocolate, rich, creamy, delicious chocolate. In terms of value, and we were speaking to how great the savings is here, this is the one time a year, Andrew, when we do the Today Special that you also bring us the larger size options where you really get to see the value. I mean, if you look at the 400 meal, it's more than half off today as the Today Special. And this cost actually breaks down to 57 cents per meal. 400 meals. So if you were just replacing 1 meal a day, that's 13 months, more than a year of meals there for 57 cents a meal. It really is a great value. And the 400 meal kit, you're actually going to get one of each of the flavors. So it's the perfect way to get some variety and switch things up. You can choose the 300 meal kit with that one. You can do different flavor varieties if you'd like. You can do all the same, completely up to you how you want to do that. Same with the 200 meal. And then if you choose 100 meals, 60 or 20, you get to choose from one flavor. This column is the savings today by taking advantage of the Today Special. This is your Today Special price, and this is what it would normally be. So you can see, you know, as you get into the larger quantity, you do get to enjoy more savings. And it's a smart way to go because when you break that down, 57 cents per meal for something that's so well-rounded, Andrew, with all of the nutrients and the vitamins and the proteins that we need, I really don't know where you can go and spend 57 cents and get something that is that good for your body.
You can't spend 57 cents and get a meal. And when you're talking about 57 cents and you're getting 5 times the B12 of the leading multivitamins in the proper form, which they don't even do, you're getting 5 times the levels of biotin, which is basically the beauty vitamin we always refer to. So when you're looking at a meal replacement at 57 cents in the large size, I think it's about, in the 300 meal size, it's about 59 cents. So you're looking at an opportunity to, if there should be any question in everyone's mind, should be, how is that possible? Right. And even, I was just going to read some reviews. There are about 5,000 total reviews on secure meal replacement. 2,336, approximately half of them use the word love to describe their feelings for the product. So half the reviews, you find the word love in the review. I mean, to me, that's just incredible. Half the reviews, 2,270, use the word great to describe the product. 1,890 use the word good. 1,137 talk about energy in using the product. 844 thank me for the product. So 665, which would be about 15% of the reviews, say it's the best. So it is a product that when you look at the reviews, and I think with products like this, we're more apt to review something negatively, to warn someone about the product. But I think the reason why the reviews are so positive is because I think people are genuinely surprised. When you try, and I know I've tried them, when you try other meal replacements, they're terrible. It's as if they just put the word chocolate or vanilla or whatever it might be on the label as an afterthought, because I have very sensitive taste buds, and I almost can't even tell what their flavors are when I try other meal replacements, that there was so little investment in flavor. You open these up and don't even taste them. You could tell me if it's coffee or vanilla or chocolate or pina colada. There's no doubt. And you don't have to stick the bottle under your nose when you open it. You could have that bottle 6 feet away from you. You could socially distance the bottle and you can still tell. exactly what it is. So, so it's unlike anything out there, and I feel like the only thing I have to overcome when I'm sitting here talking about it is the natural resistance to trying something that sounds too good to be true.
Sure.
What's great with all of my products, they come with an unconditional money-back guarantee. You could send it back for any reason. You could send it back because you don't want to see my picture on the label. Which at home, I turn all my bottles around so I don't have to see my picture on the label. But I don't need to see my picture. But again, it's a product that's unique. And every time I say this, it kind of hurts because I've been manufacturing vitamins for 41 years. It ages me every time I say that, but hopefully it gives you a sense that I don't have anyone else doing this for me because no one else can do these products the way we do. We have to do it ourselves. So I've been doing this for 41 years. I completely admit that my initial meal replacement, I could use some very impolite words to describe what people told me it tasted like. And some of them, they beat me out when I said them. But I didn't take it personally, or maybe I did take it personally, and I went back to work. And what I realized that the levels of vitamins and minerals, and yes, having the best protein and having the best composition for weight loss and weight management, it isn't enough. That I had to go back to the drawing board and I had to make sure that the product tasted just as well as it worked. Because if it didn't taste great, it wouldn't get a chance to work because you wouldn't use it. So, and it needed to mix well. And my initial product, it was a bit gritty and the protein wasn't super soluble. Mine now, I'll mix some up here. My product now, even if I put, and wow, this is the vanilla, I just opened it up and it's so incredibly strong, but I'll put a few servings in here. That's 1, 2, 3, let's do 4. So that's 4 servings. Normally you just put 1 serving, and usually most people, you put a little bit of protein and it's gonna be a problem. And I won't even put in, that's not even, let me get the glasses out of the way here. That's not even 8 ounces of water. Normally you put 8 to 12 ounces of water or not fat milk or whatever it might be. That's 4 servings, and I put it in about probably 4 or 6 ounces of water. So, and even when I just poured the water in there, it already had mixed. But the product is designed to be super, super soluble. You can see the way it coats the side of the glass from my stirring it. So I tried to make this product just like all my products, that you get all the benefits you seek, you get the flavor you want, and it's not associated with any problems. So, and again, this is going to be a rich flavor experience for me, but it's not gritty. There's no powder that's left that hasn't dissolved.
I've got some here, Andrew. I've been drinking the Pina Colada because it's so good, but the other 2, I made them 30 minutes ago, and I just noticed this because they're still sitting back here. Still mixed beautifully. I mean, that says a lot. Look at that. You could even really just pour it into a glass, and as I've said, when I travel, I'll mix it with my finger. I'll mix it with the back of my toothbrush. That you don't need, and it's just so rich. I'm salivating now because it's so rich and flavorful. This is something that I think people will look forward to having too. And when it's weight loss and it's meal replacement, sometimes it feels like you're depriving yourself. These are so tasty. This is like a treat. It is something you can actually look forward to, replacing one of your meals with a shake, a chocolate shake, a coffee shake, vanilla, or Pina Colada. They are all absolutely delicious. To Andrew's point, no grittiness. There's no aftertaste. I've had a lot of meal replacements that have a very strange, almost chemical tasting aftertaste, and that's due to whatever extra ingredients are being thrown in there. And go check the labels on whatever you've got in your cabinet right now. It might shock you. So if you want to try something that tastes amazing but is also filled with body benefiting ingredients like the vitamins and the nutrients and the fibers that you mentioned, the protein, this is a wonderful option. And I know so many of you love this. You wait every year for this Today Special. It's all in the reviews. You can see how well loved it is. This is the time of year to do it. It's in January for a reason. It's when so many of us have our health and wellness on the brain, and by far this is the best value, and it's just for today, which I love because we can treat ourselves to anywhere from the 20 meals if you're just trying it out, you want to dip your toe into the water, or if you want to get the most value and the most bang for your buck, the further up you go, the more savings you get to enjoy. So for instance, The 300 meal kit, that breaks down to 59 cents per meal for a fully balanced nutritional meal. 400 meal kit, even better, 57 cents per meal. And look at the savings here that you get to enjoy. We have flex pay, we have free shipping and handling, and to what you said, Andrew, full money back guarantee if you don't love it, but this is the day to get it at this value. So if you would like to try it, you get to choose. You see on your screen how many meals you can choose from. When you get into the 200 and the 300 meal, it's really easy on hsn.com. You get to choose which flavor combinations you would like, or you can just do all the same, completely up to you. The 400 meal, probably my favorite because you get one of each of the flavors in a 100 meal portion. And then we also haven't mentioned, Andrew, in front here, you're gonna get some samples to try of the sucrose and your Choco Nuvo coming included, and it's proportionate to the quantity of meals that you choose, how many of the samples that you get. But it's another nice way to treat yourself. It tastes delicious. You feel like you're having dessert, but you're really helping your body at the same time.
Yeah, with the meal replacement, whatever you choose, on the 100 meal, obviously the 100 meal is one large package like this. So that 100 meal weighs a few pounds. If you're getting the 400 meals, it weighs close to 20 pounds, all packed up to you. But the 100 meals, so you choose on the 100 meal, chocolate, vanilla, coffee, pina colada. With the 200 meal, you get to choose any two, or both of them could be one flavor. With the 300 meal, you get to choose any mix as you might seek. It could be all chocolate, all vanilla, or a blend of 100 meal samples. Or on the 400, it's only one version on the 400. It's chocolate, vanilla, coffee, and pina colada. So it's only the variety pack on the 400. On the 100, 200, 300, you choose whatever you like. On the 400, it's only one version of each of those. And again, as you were saying, Michelle, the pricing is, I mean, I'm most proud about the pricing, but I suspect if we were offering this for $2 a meal, $3 a meal, economically, it would be far more successful, because I think people wonder how good this could be with a price that's so affordable, especially if you went to your biggest fast food restaurant. Next time you go, or just go online, do a little research, see how much that vanilla shake, that chocolate shake, whatever that Oreo shake might be. And I guarantee you, it's $2, $3, $4. That coffee shake could be $5. So to think that this meal replacement, and for something to really function as a meal replacement, I mean, if you have one of those shakes, they're not only are they multiple times more expensive than mine, they contain 10 times the calories. So you could have 10 of my meal replacements to be the equivalent of their calories, and they don't contain the vitamins and minerals that mine contains. Mine is designed to be the most nutritious meal you will have of the day, because if you're going to replace a meal, you need to make sure you're getting those vitamins and minerals that are necessary for your good health, to support weight loss and support fat metabolism. So without that, it truly isn't a meal replacement. So again, when you look at the price, when you look at the cost, when you look at the content and composition, there's really nothing like this anywhere in the world. And as long as the science says meal replacements are the most efficient and the most effective way to support your weight loss goals, then if a meal replacement tastes better, if a meal replacement is lower in calories, if it's more satisfying and it's more affordable, then I guess that would have to be the best meal replacement in the world. And I am not aware of another meal replacement that's more affordable,
right,
that has a greater investment in flavor, that has better reviews, that's more soluble, that has higher levels of the key nutrients you need than Secure. So I guess that means that Secure is the very best and also the most economical.
And, you know, speaking to comparison of what else is out there, Andrew, when you first started formulating your meal replacements, you said it was about 30 years ago. What out in the market, you know, comparatively speaking, the other meal replacements out there, was there anything that really shocked you about the ingredients or what other companies are doing to kind of draw people into these products that they think are good for them and they're really not doing what they should?
Well, the most surprising thing of all is that these other companies kind of did exactly what I did. You just made a meal replacement, you put the stuff in it, and you really didn't contemplate flavor. Yeah, you gave it a name, vanilla, chocolate, coffee, but you really didn't contemplate flavor. What surprised me is that most of these companies, obviously, or virtually all of them, don't pay attention to what their customers are saying, because I quickly realized that I needed to invest in flavor, that it really wasn't, I didn't complete my project when I made a product that contained the vitamins and minerals and nutrients. Also, of course, the same way I look at a multivitamin and I marvel at the low quality ingredients that are present in that multivitamin, I look at meal replacements. And sadly, those meal replacements contain forms of nutrients and levels of nutrients that are truly inadequate. So, and they really haven't transformed themselves in the decades since I started. So ours is, as I said before, ours is unique because I guess I read your reviews. I take them personally. So when I was told that my meal replacement tasted terrible, I knew I needed to get back to work. Fortunately, there was someone who did the work for me on flavor. It was already done for me. So I didn't have to go very far to look, because the folks who provided the flavor technology to the fast food restaurants, whether it's vanilla, chocolate, coffee, Pina Colada, the folks that provided that flavor research and flavor technology, I was able to adopt that, and we were quickly able to continuously improve the flavor of my product. And I feel a little weird here emphasizing flavor, but what's interesting, as many reviews as there are that talk about weight loss, there are even more reviews that talk about the surprising, the shocking flavor of these products.
Yeah.
And that's something, and that's the only way it works. Again, as great as a meal replacement is, and as great as they could work, and as well as they will work, they only work if you want to use them consistently. And the only way you will is if they taste great.
Well, they definitely taste great. You guys should see behind the bags here. I have a chocolate, Andrew, that's almost gone. The Pina Colada might be my favorite. Truly creamy, and that perfect taste of the pineapple and the coconut. The coffee is equally delicious. I really love that one too. And the beauty of this is when you get into the 200, 300, and 400 meal, that's where variety comes into play. So if you're like me and you want to try them all, I think that's where you should definitely lean. You have more savings that way, and you also get some more variety. So if you choose 200 or 300 meals, you get to choose if you would like, a different variety of each, if you want to just do all the same flavor. The 400 meal, probably my favorite, and that's because it's one configuration. You're going to get one of each: Pina Colada, vanilla, coffee, and chocolate. So when you go online to order, or if you're on the phone, it's a really simple process. You get to choose which flavors you like. You will be getting samples as well of Sucrese and Choco Nuvo coming along with your choice. And so it's a very well-rounded, well-balanced, delicious way to kick the new year off right, Andrew. So thank you for bringing us this Today Special.
And when it comes to losing weight and managing our weight, the rationale behind that, as some of us might want to change how we look, the real rationale behind that is our health. I mean, as we change our body composition, all the indices, all the numbers that we pay attention to, whether it's our blood sugar level, whether it's our blood cholesterol level, whether it's going to be our blood pressure level, all of these things, all of these metrics are closely linked to our body composition. So as we improve those different metrics, we improve our health and well-being. And again, nowadays, improving our health and well-being is really all about delivering ourselves an opportunity to change what we eat. And it's not easy to do nowadays, so it's just something that Secure makes easy.
Yes, absolutely. So we are going to move on. I brought my Pina Colada with me over to our next item. We're going to talk about, and this is actually a perfect companion to your New Year's resolutions. If you're looking for ways to safely enhance your energy, promote fat burn, energy and fat metabolism is a very popular option here at HSN. There's no deceptive, harmful ingredients or the jolts or the jitters, the crashes. That's why I actually purchased this, Andrew. When I first started here at HSN, I got into this cycle of too much coffee, trying energy drinks, getting really jittery, and then crashing at the end of the day. And I needed a better way to enhance my energy. The fat burn, also great for New Year's for those of us looking to lose weight. So if you want to try this one, we've got wonderful pricing on this for you today. And we have different options in terms of the quantity. We have a 30 capsule, 60, 180, and a 360 capsule available. Of course, free shipping and handling. We have FlexPay available. It is another customer pick with rave reviews. A lot of them I notice people saying, I just have this natural boost to my energy. It makes me feel good throughout the day, and it's a sustained energy. So a really unique offering that you have for us here with the energy and fat metabolism factors.
Well, it's a product that, the one thing I always like to talk about with this product is that we need to be realistic. there's no magic weight loss or fat burning pill or capsule.
Sure.
And I originally made this product in response to a lot of unhealthy products that were in the market. And again, because I've been doing this so long, my company was around when we had all of those issues with ephedra and ephedrine, which is an ingredient that was used in dietary supplements that had no business being found in nutritional supplements and dietary supplements. So I was always asked for a healthier version for an energy product. And then there are still a whole range of what I consider unhealthy energy products on the market that you get your boost of energy, but it comes with a payback afterwards, that usually comes with a crash afterwards. And I wanted to make an energy product that was delivering this short-term energy that we sought, but without the jitters, without the discomfort, but also supported us with energy in the mid and long term. So it didn't leave us kind of dropping off a cliff or crashing thereafter. Also, I had a product a few decades ago, 30 years ago, called Fat Burning Factors. I actually had this product back when I was on QVC about 30 years ago. And Fat Burning Factors was a product that focused on the nutrients, the metabolic factors that are involved in fat burning and optimizing fat burning metabolism. And again, what is fat burning metabolism? It's energy metabolism. And as I often say, the fat is the high octane fuel in our body. Say protein, carbohydrate, sugar is about 4 calories per gram. Fat is roughly 10 calories per gram. So fat is the high octane fuel. If we have the machinery to access it, if we've really developed that machinery to access it. So the goal with our fat burning factors was to support that high octane energy metabolism, fat burning metabolism. So what I did is a couple of decades ago, we had a very popular product called Urgent Energy, a very popular product called Fat Burning Factors. We married them together, and it became energy and fat metabolism factors, because again, fat metabolism is energy metabolism. So what this product does, it supports the energy we need to do our exercise, the energy that we need to be disciplined about our choices when it comes to weight loss or weight management, or just getting started during the day, getting through the day. And again, for me, I'm not someone who can have coffee in the morning without me getting kind of jittery and talking too quickly. But the caffeine-related alkaloids in this product are gentle, mild. For me, they work perfectly. And it's an incredibly affordable product. Our separate ginseng, which is one of our more popular products, our separate ginseng uses the same standardized extract of ginseng as we use in this product to combat fatigue and to support energy on the mid and long term. So you get that short-term boost of energy without jitters and discomfort. I mean, I could take this at the end of the day without it interfering with my sleep. So it's really designed to be the healthiest energy product and the healthiest fat supportive in terms of fat metabolism product that you could find.
Yeah, I find when I take it, it is a very smooth, kind of even-keeled energy throughout the day, you know, and it helps me focus and feel better. And you all agree there are over 1,000 perfect 5-star reviews on this. So if you're interested, you're looking to try it, these are the different size options that we have available right now, from 30 capsules on up to 360 capsules. One thing I noticed about the great savings on this today, if you look at the 360 capsule today, same price as our 180 capsule is on a regular basis, but you're getting double the amount. So it is a really nice opportunity to be able to dive in and get the larger portions and have the greater savings with that. Of course, you have the free shipping. We have flex payments available as well, but plenty of options to choose from. I think we would all say that we could benefit from a little more energy. It's been trying times lately. A lot of us feel exhausted physically, mentally, emotionally. I mean, anything we can do to help ourselves in a more natural way, I think is a smart choice.
And a healthy way. All too often when we're trying to overcome the issues that, you know, the challenges, you know, every year, I mean, human life is challenging. Life in general is challenging. We have, you know, every life, even the best of lives, is going to have challenging moments. This last year, I think, without exception, brought more challenging moments than maybe anyone has experienced at least in several generations. So anything we can do to support, say, healthier goals, to do it affordably, to do it without any compromise, without any side effects or risks. This product doesn't come with any warnings or anything like that. It's a simple product. It's affordable product. It supports energy production naturally. And again, it's not going to be something that you're going to crash or have jitters after you take it. And again, if you're looking at Secure to support you in terms of your weight management or weight loss goals, a lot of times, at least I know for me, when I become more tired, more fatigued, I don't make the same good decisions when it comes to food and what I'm eating. So to the extent we could support our energy level, that supports our weight loss goals by helping us make better decisions. To the extent we can support fat-burning metabolism, which as much as it is that high-octane energy metabolism, it's the most difficult metabolism to encourage our body to engage in. Sugar metabolism is sort of the low-hanging, easy-access energy in our body. But to the extent we can encourage our body to burn that fat, that's going to be a better metabolism that hopefully we all seek. And the nutrients in this product, whether it's acetyl L-carnitine, which doesn't just support fat metabolism, it also supports our brain, those are the ingredients that are going to support and perhaps jumpstart our body in terms of that superior fat-burning metabolism.
Yes, I mean, all around, probably one of my favorite products that I have. My collection is starting to grow, Andrew, as I learn more, and I know you're all about giving us the education that we need to know smarter choices we can make all around for whatever issues we have in our lives, whatever needs we have. This has quickly become one of my favorites as a mom with 2 boys and with work and with all the craziness going on. It gets hard sometimes when you know you want to make better choices, but you just feel like you don't have the energy, you know, you just need that boost. And I encourage you, if you're even at all curious, to read the reviews on this one for sure. They are phenomenal. The ways that this has helped people in their lives, I think it's really encouraging. And this is definitely a good time to try it too. You know, when we have these special pricings, this is a monthly special for the whole month of January that you get to take advantage of these savings. And it starts from the 30 capsule all the way up to the 360 capsule. You can see that first column. This is what our usual HSN pricing is. In the middle, this is the price that you get to enjoy today, and on the end, we show you the savings. So, I mean, all the way down to the 360 capsule, I mean, it's a $50 savings here to get it home and try it out. You know, as with everything else you offer, Andrew, nothing is, you know, definite. You get to have this unconditional money-back guarantee to give it a try and see how you start to feel throughout the day.
I think what also is important to note, as much as we have an unconditional money-back guarantee on the product, my products have the lowest return rate by far of any products at HSN. Mm-hmm. I don't design products to sell. I design products that work. And in fact, that's why the reviews are what they are for all of my products. If I ever make a product that's not well reviewed, it goes away because that means I'm doing a bad job and I have to go back to work. Right. So this is a product that's designed to do exactly what it says on the label. Again, as I said before, there's no magic fat loss pill, but there are some great ingredients and nutrients that could support you when you've made a decision to make some changes. Or simply, if you want a healthy way to support your energy, a lot of folks start their day with a cup of coffee, whatever it might be. And yes, coffee contains caffeine. It's going to give you a quick boost of energy, but then what's left after? And generally, our cup of coffee usually has a few hundred calories, or it's going to have other ingredients in it that we shouldn't really be consuming. So this is a way to perhaps replace that cup of coffee or those unhealthy energy drinks or energy products with something that's just all about health. There is not a single compromise in this product or a single ingredient that you need to worry about. It's all about ingredients that the net benefit of this product, yes, you'll get more energy. Yes, it supports fat-burning metabolism, but it's also supporting your health in a myriad of ways.
Absolutely. So you guys, if you're in the ordering process, hang tight there. You know, you can always call us. You can go to hsn.com, and we have a free app as well if you don't want to wait on hold to be able to choose what you want, read up on it. There's videos you can watch. Again, it's all about education here with Andrew. So we're going to move on, and we're going to talk about a very special day today. You know, we had the Secure Complete Meal Replacement as a Today Special, and we also have 2 more Today Specials to offer you, and this one is for those of us who are concerned about our cholesterol. It's called Cholesterol. It's actually been about 2 years since it's been offered at a Today Special price point, but this, Andrew, is all about lowering our LDL and our overall cholesterol levels.
Yes, in terms of cholesterol level, we know that cholesterol level is associated with heart disease risk, with cardiovascular risk. the number one killer in our society is heart disease risk, cardiovascular risk. So to the extent we can manage numbers that bear on heart disease risk, we reduce our risk of heart disease. So that's why things like helping to reduce our blood pressure and manage our blood pressure is a good thing. Same with type 2 diabetes that has become a major focus of our society. Managing our blood sugar level is an important thing. Managing our body composition, losing weight, an important thing. We also know cholesterol. Cholesterol is one of the most straightforward and easy to manage numbers because I think the number one prescription drug is a cholesterol-lowering drug, statin drugs. They come with a very long list of side effects. I think that the pharmaceutical companies have done an incredible job making us think or leading us to believe that there's nothing else we could do for our cholesterol level except take their drugs, which that is patently false. Yes, their drugs are extremely effective at lowering cholesterol, but that is not the only resource and tool at our disposal. There is another ingredient, a well-established ingredient. In fact, it's the most powerful natural ingredient for cholesterol reduction called plant sterols. So powerful, so effective, so safe, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration allows